Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Rule the Waves 3 as Germany, episode number 40. Oh my god, we made it to episode 40 already. Holy cow. Okay, alright, let's see. Let's just embrace, I'm going to inhale the wonderful fact that we are currently not at war. That is so cool for me. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of foreign tonnage stuff. I was looking at this off camera. So you can do this two ways. You can see the red exclamation mark to see that West Africa and Indian Ocean are the problems. Or you could go over here and just match that number to this one and see, oh, that's less than that, and that one's less than that one. So we need an additional 1,200 in Indian Ocean, and we need an additional 650 in West Africa. Should be pretty easy to solve. We also have some other complications, right? That the war's over. I think I hate to agree with people. It's just an awful thing. But I think we are going to have to scrap a whole bunch of ships here. Not to mention everybody needs to go to reserve status. But let's do this scrapping first. Let us ceremoniously scrap the entire group of victorious veterans, I should say, of the most recent French-German war. No museum ships, and you'll notice the keen eye will observe that I have left later rooms. I think that these might be good for a little while longer, especially if we want to put them into Northeast Asia service. They might be able to hold up pretty well there. Obviously, this was pointed out, this blockade points is not super substantial once you have dreadnoughts on the map, the battleships themselves. I believe this blockade value drops when the dreadnoughts enter. I think it does, but I'm not sure. Wasn't paying close enough attention, but it feels that way. They were like 7 or something like that, weren't they? I don't know. It seems like it went down. Then we have these other ships. Let's see, which ones of our armor... This is crazy. We're just going to be slashing prices everywhere. It's a wholesale on ship scrapping. Volgalands probably aren't going to make it. I see that they are currently down to 16 knots with their old age, and... really not that old. 23 years? I mean, call me crazy, but that's actually not that old. It's actually not that old. I mean, if 20-year-old ships were old, what were the standard classes doing in World War II? So, yeah, I don't know. This does... I mean, maybe it is dependent on the era the ship was built and all that. Maybe... I mean, it's not like any innovations happened between World War I and World War II, right? Surely those would have been obsolete. No. Yeah, so this is a little bit weird for me, but I think the Volgalands do need to be retired. Every time they appear in a battle, I, dread it. So that's probably a first good indicator that they might be outside their service life cycle. The Stern and Claras, I think you could make a better case for keeping. Can we, though? They are more expensive. Well, that's not true. Why? Okay, this is a strange thing here. Let's just go ahead and highlight all these. They're all in Northeast Asia. Why is your maintenance higher than the other 4? 186 versus 169. It's a very strange thing to me. It's also very strange to me that 8,000 versus 8,500. What's the tonnage? Oh, okay, the top speed. Yeah, well, that explains it. So the crew complement is probably a lot higher than on the Stern and Claras. I don't know exactly, but the maintenance is pretty substantially higher. I mean, we're talking like 10%. That is substantial, obviously. 10% is usually a pretty big difference, but... in the grand scheme of things for the budget, not a huge deal. Anyways, we got to do an inventory of what we got. That's why this episode is going to start off nice and slow, just by looking at, reviewing. The Admiral is going to all the different ships, all the different ship classes, and he's got his black book with him. Which ones are going to make the cut, which ones will not. I see that we have some Triers in the Baltic, also in the Caribbean. These ships are from 1894, so yeah, a little bit old. I think that the Bodensees, the Gregor Muckenbergers, and currently the Bodevigs, I think, are all in repair. I think that those are all going to make the cut. I mean, apparently I already have axed a whole bunch of the older protected cruisers. The Triers probably are not going to make the cut either. Yeah, 4 6-inch guns, that's just... We can safely axe these. Now, in the Caribbean, what's my status in the Caribbean? Are we going to lose tonnage on that? Yes. In fact, we are. So we're going to have to swap some other ships in. Okay, well, we can do that. I hope we can do that. We got these griefs, and there are some making their moves. Let's just grab a whole bunch more. Now, you guys are 900 tons. What's the deal with you guys not pulling your weight here? Oh my god, the Delphins are... they're down to 15 knots, but that's okay. Their goal... I mean, they were never meant for, like, speed or whatever. I mean, that's why they were 17 knots to begin with. Because let's get... man, it's going to take actually quite a lot of ships to fill the role of a Trier, which is only... What? It's only 4,000. I mean, that's still more than I have Corvettes-wise to just fling over there. Maybe we'll get the Bodenseas to start pulling their weight in foreign service. Check that area one more, that area overview one more time. Caribbean. We're over by 2,700, so that means that the drop from 4,000 to 3,200 should be fine. Okay, good. Oh, you're also obsolete, though. Ooh, it means we're just about to refit you. In fact, I'm just going to do that now before I forget. We'll leave the Triers in service a little bit longer. These guys have a top speed of 20. They're right on the fringes of whether or not they're useful to have. I think that we might say yes, though, to these. First of all, they have a reasonable gun complement. It's a 5 6-inch gun broadside. Ultimately, we're going to want something like 3 double turrets for 6-inch gun broadside, so this is really not that much worse. The speed is 20 knots, which is definitely slow. It's super slow, but it's not under 20 knots. Well, actually, it is. You know, it's down to 19 and probably dropping quickly. People keep talking about this replace machinery. I know this has been a big push in this series. It's been revived as a topic of hot discussion in Rule the Waves 3. We kind of had settled this issue in Rule the Waves 1 and 2, which means I think the replace machinery must have gotten an overhaul because people just keep talking about it. Let's just take a look at what this costs us. 2,000. I think maybe the cost has been reduced a little bit. 2,000. So 2,000, and how much is it to build a Bodensee from scratch? Let's get the facts here. Okay, a Bodensee costs 10. Let's say 11,000. Let's round it up to 11,000. Monthly cost 600 for 18 months. 11,600 for 18 months. So this refit, this replace machinery costs, I think it's fair to call that 2,000. So it's not even 20% of the ship. It used to be about 1/3 the cost of a ship. Now it's less than 20%, less than 1/5 the cost of a ship. That still means that to replace the machinery, which gives me 126, and what does that give me, like 1 knot? To get 1 additional knot, which is 5% increase in speed, I have to pay 20% the cost of a new light cruiser. I just cannot be persuaded that this is ever worth it. I cannot, and especially because to actually get something out of the replaced machinery besides, just replacing it, the total cost goes up to almost 3,000. Now we're starting to talk, we're back over about 25%, and so it's really hard for anybody to be able to make a case for this. Am I wrong? Like, we could definitely do some upgrades here. We can go crazy and do this and get it to quality 0, and all that's going to cost... we're not quite to half the cost of a new ship, but we're pretty much there at 4,300 versus 5,500 being the halfway point. That's a lot of money to spend for a ship with a very old armor scheme for only 21 knots. All right, let's shelve this for a moment. Remember 4,400. Let's go and design a new ship and see why Tortuga doesn't like replacing machinery. I mean, it's something I typically talk about like once in the series and, you know, get the usual pushback that Tortuga, you need to replace your machinery. And then I go and I look and I have never found a good reason to do it. Now let's build a new ship at, let's just say 4,000, which is the Triers. This is not Bodevig, Bodensee, which is the ones we were just looking at, right? Yeah, we're looking at 3,200. Let's look at a 4,000 at, let's say 26 knots, which is pretty fast. Let's not build it for speed. Let's build it normal. We want to like kind of mimic the other ship. We'll give this one belt extended even. I don't know why, but hey, it'll have better... Oh, it'll have all or nothing... Wait a second. How can you have all or nothing armor scheme with belt extended? I thought that's the exact opposite of the definition of all or nothing, is that you can't have extended armor. That's the whole point, is you put it all into belt. And you put it all into deck. And then you don't cover the other stuff. Anyways, we'll do something like this. We'll take the conning tower way down and turrets back up. Take 2 on that. And we're over on tonnage. That's fine. We can manage that a little bit later. This currently has 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this has 5 center line turrets. How are we looking? We're seriously overweight, but we're almost... And what's the cost of this? What's the total cost? 15,000. Okay. So, the other one was, 4,400, and this is about 15.5. And I haven't, we're not done yet. I mean, we can get rid of this guns. I mean, if we wanted to really min-max the cost, we could probably do more work there, too. I think this is by far a better ship, and we're nowhere near where we need to get down to, too. So, what's the problem with this guy? What's keeping us from getting there? Not the mines, I'll take that. I don't know what that radar limit thing is doing. It's probably just our armor, right? Let's go down to 1 inch. Yeah, well, that'll satisfy it. Yeah, we're now below. So we're pretty much at, let's just say, 3 times the cost of the retrofit. Now the retrofit is still going to be a ship which is 15 years old. What are we up to? 1915, so 10 years old. Those Bodensees are still going to be a 10-year-old ship, which means that they are going to start to lose speed. We can only get them up to a speed of 21 anyway. Quality 0, 6-inch guns. Yeah, I mean, and this is a slightly larger ship. Its displacement is higher. We can probably cut this down, which will just reduce cost. Nope, didn't like that one. We're close enough to the sweet spot, I can't just drop it. I think my point is clear, though. You may not agree with me, but at least you probably understand what I'm trying to say here, is that I think a new ship for 3 times the cost of retrofitting an old ship, we got to keep the old ship. But we can spend that money instead on a new ship. For every 3 of these we were going to retrofit, we get a new Hella class. And this thing is just so much better. It's probably worth, this is probably worth 3 of the Bodensees, In a real fight? No, it's not. And there you go, Tortuga. You walked into that one. 3 of those Bodensees can definitely take on this one. Tough call, man. Tough call. I mean, it's closer now. If it was worse, I think that it would be harder to go. But I do like this kind of class. I'm going to shelve it for now, though. I'm going to close it. We can remake it. I think that is kind of the thing I want to go with, is more of these blockade point type cruisers. I've been really happy with them. We will have to make some normal cruisers eventually, but maybe not quite yet. Right now, it's more about the business at hand, which is scrapping our old ships. So let's get back to that. You guys have 20 knots. Yeah, I think the Volgalands are going to have to go. And they're both in Northern Europe, so we're just going to scrap them. Just going to do it. And anybody else who's an armored cruiser, not a heavy cruiser, since we kind of know the difference, but I'm not sure if that distinction would ever be made if there was no treaty. I think these guys are going to get shoved into Northeast Asia, which is where the Sternenclaras already are. Wow, how fortuitous. Do the Kriegsschweissens join them? It seems like a lot of armored cruisers in one area. Is there any place else we'd rather send them? Okay, so where's our foreign tonnage requirement? 19,000 in Northeast Asia, but the next is West Africa, which is pretty close by. I don't think we necessarily want our armored cruisers just in West Africa. But speaking of, how are we doing as far as base capacity goes? Because I do want that. Okay, 12. So you're a candidate for increase. Yeah, you're 10 and you are 40. Well, let's increase this. The reason I want to increase the biggest one is because I think that it's the size of the base increase is based on the current capacity. It's kind of like an exponential thing. That's not true. At some point you reach a max. Probably already at the max for base capacity of 40, but let's just build that one up, make sure that we have enough space for all the ships that we want in West Africa. How much space do we have there right now? Well, we only have... It's crazy to me that we have 2 light cruisers and 3 corvettes, and that's not satisfying foreign tonnage requirement in West Africa. That seems like a pretty decent fleet for West Africa. Anyway, let's go back to what was I trying to do? I wanted to see the basing capacity. I could probably just rest my cursor on it. What? I can't? Possessions. I know there's a way to see it. You got to just click on it. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Okay, good. 9 out of 82. So we do have plenty of room. Yeah, we can just send our armored cruisers down there. I don't think that they're all going to end up there, but this is our decision. The Kriegsweissens are going to become foreign station folks from now on. It's probably good to get them out of the way. There's battle cruisers about, and these guys are just kind of cannon fodder for those. So we will send 2 down to West Africa. We will send probably 1 or 2, I'm not sure. I'm going to send 1 to the Indian Ocean. We'll get there eventually. And by the way, when's the last time you were refit? 1910? Is that what I'm seeing? I don't want to have to do this, but there it is. Okay, 1910. So you are going to need a retrofit eventually. Probably the best time to do it is now, just to get it out of the way, and then you can wallow in misery later. Yeah, let's just do it right now. These guys are already in good shape. Quality 0, 9-inch guns. Well, quality -1, but they're secondaries. They haven't been bulged yet, but I think we're going to lay off on that. I kind of hope that we won't need the bulging or any of that for their trip down to all these other places. I think we're just going to say that this is good to go as is. Yeah, improved. Oh, well, the fire control, that one oh, director. Oh my, that's probably more than 15 tons. Yeah, touche. Although getting director would be very nice, especially with, well, it's only 4 9-inch guns. It's not like it. But we can probably work with this. Secondaries don't take that much, do they? Yeah, good. So we got a little bit of extra weight in secondaries. We'll take that down. So we have 11 remaining. I think that that is good enough, especially because these are quality -1 anyway, right? All right, let's leave it as that. That's still 2,000. Wait a second. We'll do it. It's crazy, though. Crazy talk. All right, let's do all of them. Just before I change my mind, just take them. Okay, so we have our compromise decision, which is that Tortuga scraps some of the ships that people thought he should scrap. Probably not all of them. How's our destroyer fleet looking? Well, I do like the 400-ton destroyers. These guys are hilarious. It's really hard for anybody to tell me that we have to get rid of these. I think what we'll do is retrofit them now, because they haven't been retrofitted in about 10 years. Why keep them? Well, I mean, they're pretty cheap. Maintenance of 9, and that's before we put them onto a reserve fleet. They still have a speed of 25. My goodness, that's 24. It's pretty slow. They're going to be, yeah, a lot slower than, well, what I'm thinking is obviously Northeast Asia. I'm not seriously trying to keep these guys in Northern Europe, but I would like to have some Northeast Asian, some ships to head there. They might be a candidate for scrapping. I do like the fact that they're so small, though. 400 tons, they won't count, you know? That whole song and dance about not counting for the strategic ships that must be sunk. There are 1900 design, 15-year-old destroyers. If I had to say, I would say destroyers age the worst out of all my ships. I think that's always been true, but I mean, at least it still feels true now in World of Waves 3. By the way, update on my auto resolve. I have started construction on it. I have started a project. I'm going to do this one in C++. That way I've done a project for auto resolve in every language imaginable. Python, C#, and now C++. But just for the fun of it. I'm going to scrap them. Just going to make the decision. They do have 4 torpedoes. Nah, that's not enough. Let's go. Let's get rid of them. And there was one hamburger class, which is currently obsolete. This thing is pretty fast, though. It's a 12. This one also has only 4 torpedo tubes. I would like to see where your torpedo tubes are, please. Okay, they do have a 3-sided broadside. That's not terrible. ASW of 2. ASW value, just for, okay, number in parentheses is nominal value. Okay, so the crew quality on these guys must be, yeah, it's elite. So yeah, the Hans Webers, they actually have higher ASW because of their crew quality. I don't know. It's obsolete, so we're going to have to refit it anyway. I think I'll just scrap it. I mean, it's only one ship. We're going to need more destroyers anyway. And now the only destroyers in the world for Germany is the Hans Weber class. That's pretty funny. That can't be true. It is true. We don't even have any in construction. Well, look at people who wanted me to build a new ship. Oh, today's your lucky day. We need desperately a new destroyer. And that means, unfortunately, this thing won't be just... I thought we could build more than... Yeah, we can. Why are you providing me a 900-ton design? That's funny. I mean, I like it, kind of. And we do have oil now, so we don't need to worry about oil. Okay, 0 secondaries. 4-inch guns. Okay, we have quality 1 3-inch guns. Or we can go up to anything with quality 0. That's pretty bad. I would expect by... Okay, is 1915... I just feel like I should have gotten quality 1 5-inch guns by now. And we can always check, right? I think. Let's go and check what you have. You got quality 0 16-inch guns. 15, 14. 13s you just had bad luck with, which is funny because historically that's the one that Britain kind of embraced. 13-inch guns. You have quality 0 for pretty much everything. Is this right? You don't have quality 0? Can't be right. They must have updated this. Oh, it actually shows quality 1 for 10-inch guns. They can't have quality 0 3-inch guns. Well, maybe they do. Okay, cool. Well, I am very surprised. I don't know. The game mechanics for gun quality has definitely changed. Okay, these guys at least have quality 1 3-inch guns. And -1 8s and 13s again. I actually forgot what gun quality we have. Okay, we have -1 for 15s, we have no 16s, we have -1 for 4. You see how far behind we are? What the WTF, man? It's like my naval gun research hasn't been like the only thing on high for the entirety of the game with the research budget maxed. I guess I am the unluckiest person in the world and we just haven't rolled very well on the research track for the whatever random rolls go into this. Apparently we're just the unluckiest person in the world because despite having maxed our potential research, which is something I don't think the AI does, we are very far behind 3 AI nations. That was France, the United States, and Great Britain. Alright, well, that colored me very surprised. But nonetheless, despite being behind or whatever we want to complain about, Tortuga, go ahead and complain, get it off your chest, but then build a destroyer. 33 knots, my goodness. And this one they declared we'd try for a 1400 one. Yeah, that's just funny with the gun quality, though. Kind of makes it a tough decision what kind of... I think we're still going to go with... now, 5-inch guns, what do you need for that? Oh, apparently 900... No, wait. 900, 1100. Okay, so let's just stack this right at 1100. It's overweight, yeah, that's for now, but... Oh my gosh, this has a 6 torpedo broadside. I love it. Which, I think, isn't that what we already had? Yeah, we already had a 6 torpedo broadside. I don't know how exactly we managed it, but that's great that we did. Yeah, we can make this, this is on speed. 33 is pretty good. We can make this short range. And then, ammunition-wise, that looks good. Can we add mines to it? Yeah, we absolutely can. What else would we do with the extra tonnage? It seems like a lot of ammunition, honestly. ASW is 5. It'll drop to 2 with this. Too much weight. I think we'll probably just keep it like this. We still have 10 tons remaining. I don't really know what we would do with that. It's possible we can like sneak on a couple more torpedo tubes. Make these singles? No, that's 10 tons is not enough to do that. It's like 16 apiece. I guess we'll just leave this tonnage for a rainy day because the ship feels pretty complete as it is. And it is very, I would say, prohibitively expensive to go up in speed. 33 knots is already probably faster than we need, but hey, I like speed. There's something maybe to be said. I mean, we want to keep it at 1100, so having it at 1100 means that we can get speed 33. That's a good combo. We get the 5-inch guns. We have 6 torpedoes. It's a pretty meaty guy. Now, the only downside with it is that it doesn't have a whole lot of firepower in terms of, like, rate of fire. It's only 2 guns. They're 5-inch guns, so they're going to do a heck of a lot of damage if they hit, for a destroyer at least. I think this looks pretty good, so what I'm going to do is grab a ship name, which I haven't done in ages because of the war, and then we'll get on with it. Cool little name. We got the Kotti class. It's short for some service station near Berlin or something, as is the note I read. Very cool. Anyway, that's our ship. So, congratulations. Welcome to the fleet. Can we get away with normal? Don't think so. Yeah, we cannot. Speed. I don't mind speed for these. Alright. Short range, that's fine. I think it's pretty okay for destroyers. And that'll take a month, so let's just go ahead and pass a month. Well, before we do that, we do need to make an effort to attend to the foreign tonnage situation. Yeah, I guess we can get the Triers to just go wherever, since they're all going to be scrapped pretty soon. And in the meantime, while they're doing their thing, we'll do the refits on these guys, and we'll just start moving other fleets to support it. I guess the armored cruisers we just sent out, the Kriegsweissens, they'll make up for the foreign tonnage of the Triers. Okay, so we will do just a blank, put the coat of paint on, refit for the Bodensees after all. I just don't think they're quite ready for retirement. I may change my mind after the next war, but... How much is this? 260. That's worth it, in my opinion. That's a pretty minor change. I doubt that that's a minor change. Let's find out. Yeah, 1900. So that's a little bit too much. I'm willing to do 430, but not 1900. So let's do this. Okay. And our monthly balance is hurting, but that's probably because we haven't done this yet. And we can even mothball some, like the Lederungs. I guess that these guys, they're probably destined for... Aren't they destined for Northeast Asia? The Sternenclaras? We're going to have like this relic fleet. Like the museum, you got to go see the museum. It's in over in Northeast Asia. Just take a trip out there and you can see the museum ships. I think I am going to move them over there. It seems... difficult to do because we can't do it yet though because we don't have any backup dreadnought. We're not building any dreadnoughts and we have no monthly balance, which is crazy, having just won a war. You would think. So we're going to have to mothball something here. I will mothball all corvettes, which will save me very much very much nothing. Didn't complete that. Almost nothing. So they're not in home area. Some of these just don't matter. Probably doesn't even matter if we mothball them. I doubt that their impact is substantial. Crew reserve fleet of 7. This just also is not going to go down very much. I also just don't want to mothball, though, the battleships. They're not terrible, right? They have these 26 6-inch guns. I mean, I like them in a lot of ways. I don't think they got their fair shake in combat yet. Although at this point we probably hope that they don't, because there's a lot of room for disappointment this late in the game when you're still bringing out your battleships. Okay, I'm going to end the turn recklessly. I don't know exactly if I am missing something or not, but oh well. Okay, private shipbuilding has expanded our dock by 1,000. We're only a couple months away from getting our dock size, our own effort, rewarded. 13 cruisers finished their reconstruction. 15-foot rangefinder. Just give me some better guns. All right, let's go to this build screen. Yeah, I was thinking about the 15-foot rangefinder. Would that impact something I would rebuild on the destroyer? But I don't think so. I think it's just a general improvement on accuracy. Okay, well, it's not that our monthly balance is really supportive of this, but I'm going to go ahead and try to grab 10 of the new Cody classes. And there they are. So we do have the budget, which means that we're able to take our funds down a little bit, you know. And this is only minus 4,000, although we are really at the point we need a dreadnought. Oh my goodness, don't tempt me with such a beautiful, beautiful design. Ugh, we have improved triples though. Why would we not use the improved triples? Design, all or nothing. Superimposed B, okay, whatever. We got the superimposed X, good. 3. Where's the triple? Is it turret? It must be in turret. Yeah, it's right there. Improved triple turrets. Okay, so that's that. Improved triple turrets is very good. So if we wanted to design this, I think that we'd want to go with triple turrets, honestly. And look, I don't think we're going to want the midship anymore. That's it's too much. You know, 1910 is calling, and they want their middle turret back. So we'll increase the number of guns in at least the 2 main ones like that. And then we have this awkward 3, 2, 2, 3, which we couldn't do before. Yeah, hull is too narrow for greater than 18 knots speed. And TPS greater than 1. I know, but eventually we get the tech which replaces this. So I don't know how to deal with that. That is interesting. And I think that I looked it up, and I think that there were triple turret ships with A and... Well, I don't know. It's a technology, so you could just say that in theory, and like according to the designers, those ships got the technology ahead of time. I mean, at least every technology... Maybe the German 12% just not very efficient. I'm kind of spinning my wheels here, trying to figure out how do I afford anything, and even if I can't afford it, what exactly would I build? Yeah, they keep saddling me with this. I want the triples. I'd almost rather create a ship at 18 knots than build it without the triples. That's how determined I would be about that. Wow, another expansion by 1,000. New docks are complete. Ship's band of Danzig plays opera overtures, general delight. Other areas of the crew's training have suffered. Alright, whatever. Okay, by the way, I need to go back to this... Oh, they're getting their refit. That's right. These guys aren't headed anywhere for foreign tonnage. Not yet. But now that the Bodevigs are back, those are the ones... Are those the ones who are destined for... Which one's the newer one? Bodensee or Bodevig? These guys are 1902. You don't tell me your age, but you're out in another month anyways. We'll just wait. Let's just wait that 1 month out. 17 cruisers finished. That's what I want. Slender Hull Girders. Is that the one? I don't know what that one means. Is that the what allows us to build triple turrets? I don't know. Better torpedoes. Thank the heavens. Okay, you know what? Honestly, with quality 0 16-inch guns, I mean, I complain. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You complain enough, the game hears you. Obviously impossible, but I am happy we got this research very coincidentally right after I complained about how we don't have it and everyone else does. I mean, it is something. I really do try to put all my effort into the naval guns. I think it's one of the highest priority things I do besides ship design is probably the other one, right? I'm assuming that that's the other high we have. Yeah, ship design. You could probably make a case for turret and gun mountings as well, but once I have improved triple turrets, that's one of the most important ones, just getting that research line done. So, what was I even trying to say? Oh yeah, 16-inch guns. We don't even care about doing triples. I could be persuaded to not do a triple if they are 16-inch guns, because that's already going to be enormous. In fact, what's the max size? My goodness, it's okay. The way I see it, it's kind of like, you know, something's coming together here. We just had huge increases in our dock size, which allows us to do something like this. I don't know if does the upper belt count for all or nothing. I just don't understand how you can use extended with all or nothing. Does it end up meaning like a huge... Is it like a huge drop in weight or increase in weight when you don't do that? Let's, why, no, belt coverage normal. Turrets, I wouldn't mind keeping this armor pretty heavy. Secondary guns, we'll just get the shaft as usual. It's just the Tortuga way. But we'll give them a lot of them. How's this looking? Good. Good. Alright, I'm happy. Not sure what was happening with the other light cruiser. Did I never check it? Maybe I never checked it and it also would have errored out. Anyway, let's get a heavier deck. We're pretty much at the point, I think, where deck is going to start to matter. I'm actually going to bring the belt down quite a lot, though. Don't get me wrong, I do like a nice thick belt, but I honestly think at this point, maybe deck is going to start becoming more important. I mean, with 16-inch quality 0 guns, what's the range on these? Yeah, I mean, we can maybe go up to 13.5 to cover an additional 1,000. Isn't it crazy to think an additional ½ inch of armor is only going to give us armor penetration coverage for 1,000 additional yards, between 17 and 18,000. Otherwise, nothing changes. It's crazy. It always makes me think like armor is just so ineffective. Just build everything like a glass cannon. Well, really, I think what you should do is pretty much armor it for not the guns you're fighting against, even though that's like the general policy. Armor it for like the next ship class down. That's what I would like to do. Make sure for, in our case, that heavy cruisers can't penetrate us. And what we're looking at there is, let's just bring this down for a second. Let's say 10-inch guns. Good, yeah, so they can't penetrate us, 13 inches. They can only at like point blank, like complete point blank range. So I think that the 13-inch armor is good. It'll also sometimes, when we're lucky, stop the 16-inch shells from hitting. And that's fine by me. But let's go for all or nothing, right? It's like, you know, it's in my blood, because I'm a Yankee at the end of the day, and I know that that's the American way. It's all or nothing armor. Don't like that ammunition choice. That's way too low. Director firing is good. I don't think we need torpedoes anymore. At this point, if your 16-inch guns aren't going to get the job done, what are you doing? We definitely at least don't need 2. I'm going to probably drop all of them, though, because it is a source of potential flooding. I'm going to drop them. The flooding from it is is the reason why I'm eliminating them. I wouldn't mind having them. For their weight, they're pretty effective. You know, torpedoes are a good bang for your buck, but not the amount of flooding you can get for having submerged mounts. For top mounts, I wouldn't mind it. Probably stick them on there. But I'm pretty sure we don't have it yet. For top mounts only for light cruisers, if I remember. Okay, so we're looking at something which I feel like is already pretty close to correct. I would love to... Can we just... Yeah, I can't do it. I could always drop the torpedo defense down, but that seems pretty dangerous considering almost the only way I lose ships is due to that. Or we could bite the bullet and pay the really exorbitant cost to do the 2-3-3-2. In fact, we can't even do it. We could make the most unique ship in all of history, the 2-3-2-2. And just in case you're wondering if I'm going to do it, I'm almost positive that this is what we're going with. So we cut down, wow, we can cut down tonnage quite a bit if we do this exactly. In fact, I can probably pop off a different knot. You know what? No. It doesn't cost that much to get it, so we'll even step it up to 24. Why not? And then we're going to want the additional 50 tons here as space for... You know what? I'll go back up a little bit and we'll try to tack on... That's actually quite expensive. Okay, we'll go to 39,000 again just to get 105. Yeah, but then we have this weird... Is 34 tons enough? I kind of like everything we got here. I mean, I guess... Well, how much was it for turret top? Back up we go then, huh? Because I do want that to be pretty good as well. The turrets need to... We need those turrets to fire, turns out. Okay, let's slap this down to 174. No. Well, these you can adjust, but let's go down 170. That leaves us 28 tons available. That should be enough to go up, actually, to the next thing, Improved Director. And otherwise, we look pretty good. I wish... Oh, we can get rid of these 2 3-inch guns. That's kind of silly. And now we're at 50, a very comfortable number. Good. I like it. Well, let me get a name. Ah, yes. The very appropriately timed Oktoberfest. Yes, indeed. The Oktoberfest class ships, these are very serious. And I'm certainly it's not some drunken accident that triple turret appeared in the front. Anyway, that's what I'm going to save right now. And the good news is that I'm willing to pay that secondary rate of fire penalty because it will go away eventually. So I love the way it looks too. We're getting like really modern type looks here. Normal. Everything looks fine. But you let me know if I'm missing something. This is a very expensive ship. You know, we quibbled about 4,000 here or there, and that's like nothing. This ship is like 2% of the cost of this ship. It's pretty ridiculous. But I want to save this, and then I'm going to toss it over the wall to you guys. It's actually $7,500 just to design it. My God. Let me know what we got going on. Do people like what I've done there? Because the good news is, I'm at the end of the episode, so I can just wait here and see what people think. You know, there's a massive feedback about how the triple turret in the front is the best thing ever. We'll leave it exactly as is. If I missed something, like, oh, it still has torpedoes, Tortuga, take those off. Then I'll go take those off. Until the next episode then, thanks for watching, stay safe, and I love peacetime. And take care.